Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and earlier today I showed how to make this with using rounded rectangles. Then I started thinking we can do it with so I just picked an Arial font and I've already got it all put together, welded it together, and this might be a little bit easier way. So if you take and open up your windows, dockers, and corners, and to figure out how big a radius you need to make that corner to make this round, you can get your parallel dimension tool and just measure that. It's 0.72. So we'll zoom in here to just kind of show that. We'll go ahead and delete that. So we need to make it less than half to make it work. So I'm grabbing the shape tool, clicking on it, grabbing those two nodes, and I'm going to make it 0.34, which is less, and hit apply, and it made that rounded corner. Now I can select those two nodes and delete them and make a perfectly corner. So we need to make all the corners that. And this might be the easiest way. Now there are some parts that might not be as easy, but you can always delete those nodes like these other parts when we get to them in just a second. But that's why it's helped you to measure to figure out what you need to make that curvature to. So we're going to bring this down just so we can kind of see what else is curved. Let's go ahead and make it bigger. And the only other corner we need to corner are these corners. So we're going to select it, and this might not work perfectly. Select it and grab those two to make them, but that did work pretty good. It's not a perfect corner, but we could play with it. And let's zoom in here to make it kind of a perfect corner. And just take your nodes and just stretch them out. And that's pretty close. The only other one would be this one. So we're going to do the same thing. It did the exact same thing. We're just going to delete those two nodes. And you could play around with this and make it, take this node and bring it in, and then you could always, whenever you see that, you need to select that, right click and turn it into a cusp. And then that way it will only move one arrow and not move the other one. I think this is a little bit quicker. Now, the reason I liked the other one is because it was more dead on to the size, and if you would have done that pre-hand or beforehand, you can see that this isn't perfect, but it just gives you a start, and you can play around. Like the font, it wasn't as wide here as it is here, but you can always take your nodes. Let's zoom in here. Take your shape tool and grab these two nodes and just bring them down a little bit. Now we probably only did one at a time, so we wouldn't mess that up. So click off of it and move that node in, but keep it perpendicular. And we messed up this corner a little bit, but we can always bring it in. So the other way might work a little bit better. Matter of fact, you're going to have to bring both these in to kind of make it look more even. So I really like the rectangle deal, but I just thought I'd throw that out there, how you could do it with the corner tool. So that's pretty cool, because you can make any shape. Normally with rectangles, you can do this corner here, but once you've converted it to a curve, your rectangle, well, it's still gonna let me. No, it's not. See, my rectangle smoothness is gone, but I can do it right here. And we're gonna do the same thing. Let's measure this box. Parallel dimension tool, and from that corner to that corner is 1.52 inches. So let's make this 0.75, which would be half. Let's get rid of this number. Grab our shape tool and select these and go 0.75. And we've got almost a perfect radius on that item. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.